she's, as I say, a superstar. She just does everything so well. She's always so very pleasant. She's charming to people. She's got the smile that would just...
Oh, honey, you won't believe what's been happening behind those royal palace walls. Princess Catherine, yes, our graceful, ever-composed Kate, was devastated. Her heart broke the moment she realized that Queen Camilla had been laying down a silent, sneaky trap for Prince William. Can you imagine? The very man she loves, the future king, targeted under her nose. And instead of crumbling, Catherine stood up. With tears threatening to fall, she held her head high, fiercely guarding William like the queen she's destined to be. She faced it all: betrayal, whispers, power plays, not with rage, but with that signature quiet strength of hers. Because when the crown trembles, love must roar, even in whispers. But what was Queen Camilla doing, really? Oh, darling, it started so subtly, almost no one noticed at first. Prince William's speech at a children's charity? Poof, suddenly postponed. No reason, no warning. Then a memorial he was supposed to attend, scrubbed from the press release. And guess who was front and center instead? Camilla, polished, smiling, owning the spotlight. She led the service, one guest whispered. William wasn't even there, another murmured. And just like that, the world blinked and moved on. But not everything was as it seemed. Behind those palace doors, something dark was shifting. More events followed. Camilla always in the limelight, her smile plastered across every front page, every camera flash, and William buried in the background. Some palace aides tried to explain it away. It's just logistics, they said. Yeah, right. Others, when no big ears were around, spilled the real tea. She wants the crown to revolve around her, one staffer whispered. She's rewriting the royal script, another confided. And William, our lovely, noble William, he stayed silent, but the halls weren't quiet. The whispers grew louder. Camilla's team became ruthless. They demanded longer speeches, perfect lighting, more cameras, always for her. Meanwhile, William's schedule? A mess. Events quietly disappearing, some never announced at all. The press couldn't keep up, but the message was clear. Camilla rising, William fading. She's making him a footnote, someone said. And the people? Oh, the people noticed. Twitter blew up. Where is William? Why is he disappearing? Threads and theories spun faster than ever. Journalists hesitated at first, but soon even they couldn't ignore the pattern. Camilla was center stage, and William, the future king, was being ghosted by his own palace. But babe, this wasn't just a series of awkward mistakes. Oh no, this was planned. A chessboard move by someone who wasn't playing fair. And then enter Catherine. She had been watching, quietly, closely, and let me tell you, she saw everything. For her, this wasn't about who wore the fanciest hat or stood on the fanciest balcony. This was personal. Her husband, the father of her babies, the future of the monarchy. She saw it, a close friend revealed, and she wasn't about to let it slide. Catherine started asking questions, and honey, the answers were chilling. There was a pattern, a carefully orchestrated plan. While everyone was distracted by Camilla's golden glow, Catherine was backstage, eyes locked on the strings being pulled. And when she saw enough, she decided the silence had gone on long enough. The spotlight was shifting. William was fading. And Catherine? Oh, she was done being quiet. It began like a breeze, just soft enough not to stir suspicion. But oh, darling, that breeze was part of a storm. There was no official statement, no big dramatic memo, just small, quiet shifts. William's speech at a youth mental health center, something he had poured his heart into, somehow didn't make the front page. Not even a mention. Why? Because surprise, Camilla, Queen Consort herself, made an unexpected appearance at a major charity event in London on the same day. And guess what? The press was already there. Lights, cameras, glowing headlines, all coincidentally ready for her. One royal insider side. Camilla's team planned it perfectly. At first, folks called it bad timing, a coincidence. But girl, then came the leak. Private palace emails. Yes, emails. Found their way into the hands of a trusted journalist. The contents? Shocking. Like shut your laptop and take a walk, kind of shocking. Senior aides had been given direct instructions. Prioritize Camilla's visibility. This wasn't rumor anymore. It was policy, a royal strategy. From that point on, William's events began to vanish. No press, no photos, no buzz. And yet Camilla? She was everywhere. Her schedule filled up, events doubled, speeches lengthened. The lights shone brighter every time she walked in. And inside the palace, tension was crackling. William's people grew restless. Those closest to him exchanged nervous glances in quiet hallways. Others, the ones aligned with Camilla, walked taller. They knew they had power. The PR team? Oh, honey, it wasn't a team anymore. It was a turf war. Two factions. One for the future king, one for the queen consort. And through it all, William stayed gracious, quiet, present. He won't fight, whispered a former press secretary. But he's not blind. Analysts began dropping hints. One wrote, Camilla is quietly becoming the royal family's public pillar. Another called it a recentering of royal gravity. But behind the palace walls, something was off. Chillingly off. A longtime palace worker, someone who once served Diana no less, was overheard saying, the queen consort supports the crown. She doesn't compete with the future king. Still, William said nothing. But Catherine? Oh, she was watching. Watching the articles that never ran, the applause that should have been his, the events that were once his platform, quietly erased. She said nothing, but inside her, a storm she started digging. Every royal event, every calendar update, every shift in media coverage. One evening, alone in her office, she spread it all out like a jigsaw puzzle. And the pieces, they fit perfectly. Tragically, William was being sidelined, and Camilla flourishing. And just like that, Catherine's silence turned into strategy. She didn't run to the press, she didn't leak gossip, but she saw it all, and she whispered to her aide, it's being curated. Curated. Can you imagine? That cold, calculating word? This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't royal scheduling. This was sabotage. And that's when Catherine made a decision, the one that would change everything. Not for her, but for her children. Because one day, Charlotte would look through photos, and she'd ask, where was Daddy? And Catherine refused to let the answer be silence. It was supposed to be a beautiful day. A sweet royal gathering where kids would share their dreams through letters, drawings, and laughter. And there, front and center, would be Princess Catherine, proud as ever, with little George and Charlotte beside her. They had been practicing for days. Charlotte clutching her paper, saying, can I say it like this, Mommy? And George, calm and protective, determined to do it right. It was all set. Until it wasn't. Just hours before the event, someone brought in a new program. Catherine looked, and her heart dropped. Charlotte's name was gone. She blinked, looked again. Maybe it was a mistake? Excuse me, she asked gently. Where is Charlotte's part? Silence. Then, an awkward explanation. She's been removed, ma'am. New guidance says she's too young for public speaking. Too young? George was barely 2 years older. Charlotte had already spoken at a Christmas event. This wasn't about age, it was about politics. Rumors swirled that Charlotte was being managed so she wouldn't overshadow Camilla's grandchildren, that having the young royals visible beside Catherine threatened someone else's shine. She was too poised, one palace insider later said. Too ready. Catherine didn't break down. She didn't scream. She went silent. And when Catherine goes quiet, you know something is wrong. That single act, one child defending another, woke people up. Whispers turned into confessions. A longtime palace aide, eyes bloodshot, approached Catherine's team with a stack of printed emails. Trembling, she whispered, I can't stay quiet anymore. And what those documents revealed? Scandalous. They confirmed what Catherine already suspected. Emails showing William's engagements being intentionally double booked, with Camilla's appearances, events canceled, photos withheld. One note literally read, reschedule William to avoid overshadowing the Queen's press. Another one, bold and cold, said, the future must look like her, not them. Let that sink in. Catherine didn't scream, didn't storm, but her stillness, that's what broke everyone. She never raised her voice, said a young staffer. She just stood there, and we felt it. Because Catherine had never fought this battle with chaos, she used grace as her sword, presence as her power. She kept showing up, smiling, even when no one gave her the stage. And the public? Oh, the public had seen enough. A blog titled Timeline of the Vanishing Princess went viral. It tracked every single time Catherine should have been seen and wasn't. Every moment Camilla stood solo where once William stood tall. Every cut, every quiet erasure. One tweet simply said she wasn't missing, they were hiding her. Another side-by-side image made waves. Camilla front and center in golden light, William awkwardly cropped from the corner. Caption, not a mistake, a message. And suddenly, the internet roared. No one was raging, no one was shouting, but something deeper stirred. Sympathy. Loyalty, love. Why would anyone push her away? One woman asked on a live stream. She's the heart of that family. Commentators flipped the script. A once guarded columnist declared, Catherine's power has never come from speaking louder. It comes from refusing to disappear. Inside the palace, chaos. PR advisors scrambled, crisis meetings called, but it was too late. The people had chosen, and Catherine, she hadn't said a word. She didn't need to, because the truth had already spoken. Through Charlotte's courage, George's quiet plea, and the mother who held them both. Then came that engagement. It was meant to be just another appearance, nothing fancy, but people felt something was different. The press lined up, cameras aimed, and when Catherine walked out, poised, glowing, the world paused. But where was William? Whispers, rumors, confusion. And then, from the back, he entered. Quietly, no trumpets, no fuss, just him. Calm, composed. He didn't take the spotlight. He stood behind her. One aide said, "He told us, family comes first." That's all he said, and that was enough. It wasn't about retreat. It wasn't about power. It was a message. He wasn't stepping down, he was stepping aside so she could shine. And shine, she did. That day, Catherine wasn't just a royal doing royal things. She was a woman redefining her role, shaking hands, kneeling with children, holding the gaze of every person in the room like they mattered. Because to her, they did. She's not just fulfilling a duty, a reporter whispered, she's owning it. That photo of William behind her, hands folded, smiling with pride, it went viral. For decades, royal men led. But on this day, a quiet prince lifted his wife up. Kate leads this one, he told his aide. She's earned it. And the world, it listened. She's not just a princess, someone tweeted. She's the anchor of the monarchy. And now, the world wasn't just watching, it was rallying. The narrative had changed. Articles no longer praised Camilla's rise, they questioned it. Is Queen Camilla sidelining the Wales children? One paper asked. Another chimed in, why the sudden disappearance of Prince William? The people spoke not with outrage, but with love. One mother said on live TV, I didn't care about royals before, but watching Catherine protect her children, it reminded me of me. Clips resurfaced, Charlotte hesitating backstage, Catherine kneeling, whispering something that gave her the courage to walk on stage with pride. She didn't push, a mom posted. She believed in her. That's a mother. Approval ratings soared for Catherine and William. Camilla's dropped, especially among the younger generation. She didn't fight back, a commentator said, almost teary. She rose above it, Camilla's team. Pulled back, less press, less spotlight. The silence said everything. Catherine didn't gloat. She didn't claim victory. She simply took her children's hands and stepped into the light. An elderly woman watching them from the crowd whispered, that's what royalty should look like. Not power, not titles, but grace, love, truth. We're now at approximately 2,280 words, give or take a few, based on formatting. I'll finish with one short and powerful final segment to close it out. Catherine never asked for the spotlight. She earned it. She never screamed. She stood firm. And in doing so, she redefined royalty, not with crowns or speeches, but with bedtime stories, small hands held, and a heart that would never let her family be erased. Her power wasn't loud, it was undeniable. Because in the end, it wasn't Camilla who reshaped the monarchy. It was Catherine, a woman who rose, not by climbing, but by lifting.